Okay, is this working? It's working. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a new camera setup, so I'm just trying to use the mirror to see the camera so I can use the more quality camera on this side. Happy New Year! I just wanted to make this video to wish everyone a happy 2022. In this video, I want to talk to you about what I think is probably one of the most important success principles you need to implement in your life if you want 2022 to be a year where you fulfill your dreams and you reach your goals and objectives and you reach the end of 2022 as a winner. And I think one of the biggest success factors is consistency. Okay? Consistency. If you don't have consistency, you don't have much of anything. Okay? What does that mean? If you don't have consistency, you don't have much of anything. A lot of us are good at starting, but not finishing. A lot of us are good at getting really excited about something, about a project or a goal, and then we start it, but then we don't finish it. A lot of us, the way our journey looks, if we look back at at the past year, you see that you had sporadic efforts where you worked really hard, then you stopped, then you worked really hard, then you stopped. And this starting and stopping doesn't generally yield fantastic results. The way to get amazing results is to be consistently doing something every day or 3 days a week or whatever it is you committed to, and doing that for 365 days. That's when you're going to see a huge breakthrough in your results and in your performance. Okay? So remember this quote. If you don't have consistency, you don't have much of anything. Okay? If you don't have consistency, you don't have much of anything. So, my message to you for 2022 is decide what it is that's most important to you, or what are your top 3 most important goals. And then find out how can you attack those goals in a consistent manner. So let's talk about this for a sec. Let me just check the camera again. As I said, this is a new setup. Not sure if it's, yeah, okay, it's working. So a mistake that I've made in the past that a lot of people make is we're too ambitious when we want to integrate consistency into our life. So when we first want to be consistent, let's take the example of going to the gym to get a 6-pack abs and a beautiful body. Okay, so the way most of us go at this is we say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week, 7 days a week, because I want the result faster. I'm going to work out like a maniac, and then, you start going to the gym 5, 6, even 7 days a week for the first 1 week, 2 weeks, but then soon you realize that takes up a lot of time, it takes up a lot of energy, there are other things in your life that are pulling at you, and eventually you start missing a day, 2 days, 3 days, then you're like, oh, I can't go 5 days a week, and then you just stop. So, for 2022, first decide what do you want to be consistent with, whether it's, okay, I want to go out and socialize twice a week, every week for 52 weeks, okay? That's something that you could probably pull off, okay? That's realistic enough that if you schedule it, if you plan it, you could probably be consistent at socializing twice a week, every week for 52 weeks. If you want to go to the gym, maybe start with a commitment of 2 days a week. Okay, I'm going to start going to the gym 2 days a week consistently without missing any weeks. And then maybe after 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I see that I've been going consistently twice a week, every week for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Okay, let me add another day. Let me try to go for 3 consistent days per week. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's why this works. This can be effective. What you need to understand when you're building consistency in your life is that consistency is, these new behaviors are new habits. Okay, so let's move away from consistency for a second and talk about the word habit. Okay, so a habit is a behavior that you do automatically. Okay? A habit is a behavior that you do automatically. So when let's say you haven't been going to the gym and then you start going to the gym, well, at the beginning, you have to really push yourself to go to the gym. It's not a habit. It's not automatic. But if you go to the gym for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, eventually you're not going to be pushing yourself to go to the gym. You're going to be pulled to go to the gym, meaning it has now become an automatic habit. You see? So when you're building consistency, you're simultaneously building habits. And the way you build a habit is by doing an action over and over for a period of 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. It really depends. I know there are people out there that say it takes 21 days to form a habit. Other people say 66 days. It depends, okay? But you have to stay consistently doing something long enough for it to become a habit. Now, before something becomes a habit, you are in what I call the danger zone. So if you haven't been socializing twice a week, every week, it's not a habit. Well, for the first 3 months or even maybe 6 months, you're in the danger zone because this isn't a habit, it could easily drop off if you're not diligent about making sure that you're doing this behavior every week, twice a week. You see what I'm saying? So before your behavior becomes a habit, you have to be extremely diligent and humble, remembering that before it's a habit, it can easily be lost, dropped off, and you're not going to come back to it for a long time. Okay? So another very important word for 2022 that I'm going to be talking about is habit. You need to form habits. Habits, first you form the habit, and then the habit carries you. So we said without consistency, you pretty much don't have anything. Okay? And consistency means you're doing a behavior over and over. And we said that when you're doing a behavior over and over, it becomes a habit. And we said that that habit then pulls you. So now you have a very good success formula, which is now you are being consistent while being pulled by a habit, which is increasing your chances to win in whatever you want to win at. Now, no matter how long you do it, even if you're consistent for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, even if it's become a habit, we are all always in the danger zone to some degree. Life is tough. Life pulls us in different directions. Life will try to take us off track. Another thing that you need to realize when trying to accomplish something or a level of consistency that you have never accomplished before in your life is that your mind will try to sabotage you, most likely. Why? Because in your mind, Your mind does not want to change. Your mind equates change with danger. And your mind is not concerned with the evolution of you. Your mind is concerned with keeping you safe. So any change, the mind can perceive it as danger. So a lot of times what happens is we'll be doing very good for 3 months, 6 months, even 9 months. But then we will start to self-sabotage. Okay? So another thing, got a notification here. Another thing that you need to be aware of is self-sabotage. And if self-sabotage comes into your life, don't feel bad. It's a natural part of the process, okay? If your old paradigm of inconsistency starts trying to creep in, just be ready for the battle, okay? There's nothing wrong with you. It's totally normal. And that is why so few people are consistent. Okay, let's say that again. The reason why so few people are consistent 365 days a year or 52 weeks per year is because it's goddamn tough. It's hard, man. It's really hard. So let's admit that what we're trying to do is really, really hard. And also, remembering that what you're trying to do is really hard, what that does, the advantage of that, is that you don't underestimate the task at hand. A lot of times, the reason why we fail or we drop off when we're trying to be consistent is because we underestimate how hard it's going to be to really follow through and be consistent 52 weeks out of the year. It's tough. It's tough. So I want you to think of yourself as a mountain climber looking up at a mountain right now. That mountain is your consistency commitment for this year, what you're going to be consistent at, whether it's going to the gym, socializing, cleaning up your diet, starting a new business, whatever it is, some kind of hobby, some kind of art you're doing. Never underestimate the task at hand. If you're a mountain climber and you underestimate that mountain, what's going to happen to you? You're going to reach halfway up the mountain, 3/4 up the mountain. You may even reach the peak of the mountain. But because you underestimated the mountain and you didn't bring the sufficient oxygen or climbing gear or food or whatever, because you underestimated the mountain, you're going to find yourself high up on that mountain, unable to come back down because you underestimated what it would take to go up and down the mountain. And so you die on the mountain. And that's the story of a lot of us, including myself in the past, when we've wanted to be consistent, but we were not humble enough so that to give the mountain we were facing enough respect and prepare enough for that climb, for the ascent and descent of that mountain. So never underestimate the task at hand. And so be humble, start small with your consistency goals. Once, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, something like that. Get consistent with that, build some confidence, build some momentum, build a habit, and then start adding more if you want to ramp it up. Okay? And what I mean by don't underestimate the task at hand and be humble, what I mean is that this, for you to be consistent, listen to me now. If you're multitasking, stop and listen to me. If you want to be consistent in 2022 and finish 52 weeks of consistency, which I promise will transform you and you will become unrecognizable. If you want to accomplish this tremendous and wonderful mission, you need to be humble and not underestimate how tough it's going to be. And what that means is you're going to need planning. You're going to need to plan. You're going to need tracking. You're going to need to use calendars. You're going to need to use reminders. You're going to have to get accountability partners. You're going to have to get mentors. You're going to need to do whatever it takes to keep yourself on track. If you look at successful people, they use accountability. None of them do it alone. They use accountability partners, coaches, mentors. So if you're serious of transforming yourself and finishing 2022 as a winner, don't underestimate the mountain. Nobody climbs Everest alone, Mount Everest alone, right? At least 2 at a time. Same thing, nobody's consistent alone. At least 2 at a time. What did Napoleon Hill say in his book, Think and Grow Rich? No man achieves great wealth or success alone. In his 25 years of studying 500 of the most successful rich men in America, he didn't find one man who achieved success alone. And what does this have to do with our conversation? No man can achieve great success without consistency. So if no man can achieve great success alone, that means no man can achieve great consistency alone. So get an accountability partner, get a mentor, get a team, plan, track, get calendars, do everything you have to do. Prepare for your mountain. Prepare for your ascent and descent. The person who is humble enough to gather a team around himself, as well as make the proper adequate preparations, that's the man who's set up to win in 2022. The person who's arrogant and says, I'll just freestyle it. No, I'm not going to use accountability partners or mentors. I'm just going to do the same thing I did last year, but this year, you know what? I'm gonna actually be consistent. It's not going to happen. So, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Happy 2022. Sit down with pen and paper, do some planning, decide what do you really want? What turns you on? What's going to inspire you to go after this year? And if you want to go after women, if you want to get your dream girl, you can always contact me. I do coaching all the time for men who want to transform themselves and finally date and attract the women that they're truly attracted to. You can go to jadtjones.com and then check out the site there. And or you can email me to support@jadtjones.com for inquiries about coaching. So, kick ass this 2022. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for being a viewer, a subscriber, and I look forward to talking to you very soon. I hope you enjoyed this, and go be consistent, man. I believe in you. Come on, let's do this. Peace.